it's not a proper Saturday night without a couple of fist fights, and we got a couple of big ones going down in Jacksonville for UFC 273. Now, from a betting perspective, if you like the favorites in the three big fights, which I do, you got to do a lot of digging here to find some more attractive betting options. So let's get right into those. Please keep in mind, I am recording this video on Monday, so these numbers are likely to move by the time the fights get here on Saturday. So let's start with the 145-pound title fight, where I'm going to take the champion, Alexander Volkanovski. I like him to retain, but at around minus 800. Come on, you got to find a better betting option than that. So I'm going to take him to win by TKO/KO, coming in at plus 240. So you mean to tell me that the guy who's at around minus 800 to win this fight is almost 2.5 to 1 to win this fight by KO/TKO? That kind of implies that he's not much of a finisher, and nothing could be further from the truth. He has 11 KO victories in his career, including 3 in the UFC. Now, maybe a little bit of recency bias cooked into this one because his last 3 5-round fights, his most recent fights, have all gone to decision. But you got to look at the opponents here. So Max Holloway, no one finishes him. And then the Brian Ortega fight, he absolutely destroyed him on the feet, where I think this fight will be contested against Korean Zombie. He outlanded Ortega by 126 significant strikes, and at various times in that fight was probably one big strike away from ending the whole damn thing. Now we take a look at Korean Zombie here, who's no slouch. I don't know if Volkanovski should be up to minus 800. But, you know, Zombie's been on the wrong end of a couple beatdowns before. You know, he has 3 KO losses in the UFC. He was really outclassed by Brian Ortega on the feet. He's just 2 fights removed from that. Ortega, the guy that Volkanovski absolutely destroyed in the stand-up. Maybe a little bit of MMA math for you right there. So I do think we're going to have some openings for Volkanovski to get the finish. And at almost 2.5 to 1, absolutely, give me the champion to retain. Next up, we go to the 135-pound title fight, and if you follow my coverage of the UFC at all, you know I'm a big fan of Petr Yan. I bought stock on him a long time ago, and I'm not ready to sell, baby. There's not a 135-pounder alive that can beat this man, but at minus 475, we got to find a better betting option here, so I'm going to take him to win by decision, plus 125. So Yan is a little bit of a slow starter. Dig into some of his stats here. You know, he lets the fight come to him early on, but if you look at the numbers, you know, his volume and aggressiveness definitely increases as a fight goes on. So his fights do tend to go into the later rounds, and this tends to lead to a lot of clock being chewed up. You take a look at Aljamain Sterling in this one. What's his approach going to be like this time around? Because his approach in the first fight wasn't a very good one. He had 230 significant strike attempts in that first fight, and he hit a lot of air, only connecting on 42%, and he only landed 1 of 17 takedown attempts. It did not go very good for him, and this resulted in him getting tired. He slowed down in the later rounds and did get dominated in rounds 3 and 4. Now, to Aljamain Sterling's credit, a lot of people aren't giving him much of a shot in this fight, myself included, but he is durable. He's only been finished 1 time in his career, so I do think he can hang on, but Yan is the much better fighter, much more well-rounded, maybe the best striker in all of the UFC. You know, in that first fight, Sterling was supposed to have the big wrestling advantage. That did not go very well for him. Yan had some very easy takedowns, so I'm going to take him to win by decision, plus 125, and maybe, we're going to wrap things up here with maybe the most intriguing fight on the entire card. Of course, I'm talking about Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev, who is a massive favorite in this fight. You know, this is a true measuring stick for Chimaev, coming in at around minus 550, and this is a fight that could put him on a fast track to a title shot, but at minus 550, I don't know about that. So how do I want to bet this one? I'm going to take it to go over 1.5 rounds, coming in at minus 120. So this is a massive step up in competition for Khamzat here. You know, he's jumping into deep water after facing the 13th ranked welterweight Li Jingliang. He's jumping up to number 2 in the world, Gilbert Burns, who isn't a guy that people just walk through. And to kind of put these odds into perspective, how out of control I think this might be getting. So Burns closed at around plus 200 versus Kamaru Usman 14 months ago. Usman, the consensus #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Now he's at around plus 400 or higher at some books for this fight. So yeah, I think Khamzat should win, but I do think Burns can make it a fight, as he tends to do, and he tends to be in longer fights. He's actually gone over 1.5 rounds in 7 of his last 8 fights. So coming in at -120 to go over 1.5 rounds, absolutely. So UFC 273, there you have it, my best bets. Let me know what your best bets are in the comment section right down there. You could tell me why I'm wrong if you would like. Good luck with your bets on fight night, unless you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Wow!